Hi, this is Attorney Mike Gravelin coming to you from Chicago as usual, and today we've got another wild adventure with Wild Court Moments. Yes, we're going to go visit our old friend Judge Middleton. It's the Hoarders edition. Let's do it.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, we've got the Gillettes, we've got Diane Heitzman, we've got Joey Neese, and we've got Amy Lucas from Keystone here with us. Good morning, Amy.
Good morning.
Ms. Heitzman, we're in court. Could you put your cigarette out? This is being broadcast live on YouTube, and we have to pretend like we're dignified and doing a court proceeding. People don't smoke or wear a hat or eat during court. This is the 3B District Court, and this is the time set aside for landlord-tenant matters. We're a minute or two early. We're going to call our first case, which is entitled Mary Diane Heitzman versus Anthony Gillette and Kathy Gillette. Are you Mary Diane Heitzman? Your microphone's on mute. Your mic's on mute.
Yeah, you said they were.
Mr. Gillette, same thing for you. Would you put your cigarette out? We're in a court hearing, and we need to.
I don't know how the judge does it. I really don't. I really don't. He's now both parties, the plaintiff and defendant, are smoking in court. Meanwhile, whoever he's talking to is on mute and is oblivious. But we carry on.
Treat it with some measure of dignity. Good morning, Mr. Meath. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Is Miss Sustor, she's not there, is she?
She's not with me. She should be joining.
All right. Well, while we're here, I'm going to advise everybody of their rights in a landlord-tenant proceeding. All right. Let's start out with this case, and I'm a little confused. I think I may have had some heads up on this from the clerk. Your landlord is listed as Wilma Gillette. Who is Wilma Gillette? Ms. Heitzman? You need to unmute your mic. Ms. Heitzman, you need to unmute your mic.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Who is Wilma Gillette?
Wilma Gillette is my mother, who is in the first stages of dementia, and I am her power of attorney.
All right.
And I'm doing, these are her wishes too.
All right. Power of attorney and attorney are two different things. I was concerned about this, and the clerk asked me about it. I said, go ahead and allow her to file the action.
My mother is here if you would like to speak to her too.
Well, all right. She's not listed as a party. You listed yourself as the plaintiff. You don't own this property, and you are not an attorney, and you don't have the right to represent someone else in a legal action.
This is just brings up so many issues, and it's interesting. I don't want to go on about it, but she's power of attorney. Her mother owns the property, not her. She names herself as the plaintiff, and that's not proper. So this can't go anywhere as an action. However, it can be amended, and that's what the judge keeps telling him. Get yourself an attorney to figure it out. But this is a classic example of how people just cannot do these things unrepresented. A power of attorney does not allow you to file actions on behalf of other people. You can make some decisions. It's very limited what it is, and it has nothing to do with being an attorney, actually. In this case, she could represent her in one circumstance I could imagine, and that would be as if her mother was adjudicated incompetent and she was named guardian over the estate of her mother. That's probate stuff. Then she could probably proceed as sort of pro se because she's speaking for her. I mean, whatever. I could go all day. There are all sorts of implications, but this is a simple termination of tenancy action, and there are so many things here to consider. It's ridiculous. An attorney can straighten this out, in a half hour and asking the appropriate questions, but a layperson has no shot. None.
Understand that your mother wants to move them out because they're hoarders. but either your mother's going to have to appear on her own behalf or you're going to have to get an attorney to assist you with this. Now, the law says in a termination of tenancy case, Mr. and Mrs. Gillette, I have to set a second hearing at least 7 days out from today for you to attempt to get legal assistance. The pleadings don't sound very good. Hoarding, cockroaches, filth. They want you out of the premises. Are you also a child of Wilma Gillette?
Yes.
Wilma's your mother?
Yes.
What's your position about moving out?
What's your position on it?
Position about moving out?
I can't hear you.
I lived here for well over 20 years. I would rather not move out, but things have got to be done too, so.
All right, well, apparently your mother wants you to move. The case is in a somewhat weird legal posture, and some of it's my own fault. I let Mary Diane Heitzman file this in her name, knowing that she didn't own the property. So Mary Heitzman is a power of attorney, but it isn't an attorney.
I will tell you exactly why the judge allowed this. He isn't confused. He saw this happen. He wanted to get everybody together so he could ask this question. Basically, it's the mother's property. She's having health problems, and it's now going to start causing her problems because they're not paying for it. That's the short of it. And he's thinking, if I can get them all in the room and say, why don't you go ahead and leave because it's not your property, maybe I can talk him into it. That's what he tries to do very gently as this proceeds. But if that's not going to work, then we need to pull an attorney in here and get and get this thing to proceed properly.
You can't represent another person in a legal proceeding unless you have a law license. So that's problem number one. Problem number two is the law requires that I set this for a hearing at least 7 days out. But ultimately, it sounds like you're going to have to move and they're going to have a big giant mess on their hands of this hoarder house. But you may wish to get some assistance from legal aid. Is there a lease, Ms. Heitzman?
No, there is a contract with a mortgage company that is in my mother's name. And the reason that my mother had me file, which I guess doesn't matter, but in my power of attorney papers, I have the right to buy and sell property for her. And that's what we were going by.
Yeah, I understand that's what you're going by, but you don't know the law. It's kind of hard here because she's really trying to just help her mother. I get it. She's sincere, but when you file the complaint, you gotta name your mother as the plaintiff because she's the owner of the property, unless she's been adjudicated incompetent or something like that. Even if she has, then you would need to file it as guardian of her. So none of this is going anywhere, but it's really kind of difficult. People do confuse power of attorney and think that they can do things that they just can't.
All right, well, that's what happens when sometimes people don't understand. So are they paying rent?
They haven't been, no.
Did they all live there together at some point?
No, my mother has never lived there. My father is the one that put the house in his name, and it is now in my mother's trust fund, which will take all of her money. If something happens to her, it takes all of her money plus her house to pay for that house.
All right. Well, I understand why she wants to get him out there, but she needs a lawyer.
Yep.
Now, you mentioned there's some sort of a contract with the bank.
Yes, they are. It's not a bank. It's a mortgage company, and it's called
Community loan.
Yeah, community loan.
So, Mr. Gillette, you're making your payment to community loan?
Yeah.
When was the last time you made a payment?
Just a minute.
I'm sorry.
That isn't how this works. We're not sitting around the kitchen table. We're in a courtroom. and you're not real good at it. You show up with a cigarette, you're here representing someone that you're not entitled to represent, and you try to take control of the proceedings. That isn't really how it works.
And don't forget to hit like and subscribe, or the dogs get it.
So are you making a payment each month, or theoretically, to that company?
Excuse me, I didn't quite catch that.
All right, are you supposed to make a payment each month to this community loan?
Yes, it's supposed to be a monthly payment. But I've been on medical.
How much is it?
$563, I think it is.
All right, this is complicated. There's some sort of a financial agreement that I don't know the terms of. I don't have a copy of it. There's no lease. The fact that you're on medical leave and not making the payment puts the obligation on your mother to pay for your house. And she wants you to move out. I'm going to set this out for a bit. I have to set it for at least 7 days. I'm going to set it for 2 weeks. Miss Heitzman, your mother needs a lawyer. There's a contract here that I'm not aware of. There are several lawyers in Sturgis that do landlord-tenant work or elsewhere. Mr. Bush, Mr. Brothers, several other attorneys, Mr. Thornton. They all do a fine job on landlord-tenant matters. I'm not sure you're going to accomplish what you wish to accomplish. As far as Mr. and Mrs. Heights, Mr. and Mrs. Gillette go, ultimately they're going to get what they want. You don't have a lease, I don't think. They indicate that you're dissipating the property and they want you to move. I'm going to set this.
And that was the whole reason why he let her file it. Right there. He wanted to say that to them. I don't think they appreciated any of it. I can look at this and I can give a very good guess as to what's going on here. There was a mortgage on this property. This guy was paying it, which is below market rate for the rent for the property. But that was fine as far as the mother was concerned. She just didn't want to have expenses for it. But now he is not making that payment. It's draining her financially. The judge knows all this. There is no lease between them. So in that circumstance, the law, at least in Illinois, will imply what's called a month-to-month tenancy. And they'll just say, you know, that's what it is. But you can terminate a tenancy at any time that's month-to-month. In this state, you need 30 days notice to do it. But I don't know what they need in Michigan. But that's probably what is going on. The whole reason why he wanted this to occur is so that he could tell these tenants, hey, look, either work this out or eventually this is going to get to an attorney and there's going to be an order entered that you have to leave.
For November 15th at 2:30.
I won't be able to make that one. I have to work.
All right. That's you, Miss Huntsman? I have my screen up. You can't make it on November 15th?
No, I can.
Okay. All right. Who can?
Mrs. Gillette, Kathy Gillette. I cannot.
Well, all right. Well, you're being sued.
I know. We're trying to get out. We're on waiting lists at 2 or 3 different apartments to get out of here.
All right, you can log in. You can log in from work, but Miss Heitzman, you're going to need to get some legal help to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish, because you can't represent your mother, and I don't understand everything that's going on here. There's some sort of underlying contract that I don't have a copy of.
Yeah, the judge understands everything. He doesn't have all the information is a better way to put it. But he understands what's going on, and he's gently trying to direct these people towards resolution without having to do much more. Termination of tenancy action is dead on arrival, given the way she filed it, because she doesn't know. And, that can be amended if she, but they either need to get an attorney in or get an agreement with them to move, or nothing's happening.
Well, may I ask you a question?
Yes, certainly.
My mother has actually signed papers to sell the house and get it out of the trust. So I don't know if we still have to go to court, or can we just sell the house?
Well, you can sell the house if the buyer is willing to buy it with them in it. But there's apparently some sort of another deed. You need a lawyer. You need some legal assistance. You're asking me a question that I can't answer because I don't have enough information. I don't know what's in the trust. I don't know what's in this community loan mortgage company deal. I don't know how far it's in arrearage. So the answer is I don't know. And that's quite often my answer when I don't have enough information. So I'm adjourning this for a little more than 2 weeks. You need to get an attorney, Mr. and Mrs. Gillette. If you move, well, that's fine. That terminates the action. If you move out, then we won't need to do anything else. You need to turn in your keys and your forwarding address within 4 days of your moving. But I'm going to continue this, hopefully with legal counsel, on November 15th at 2:30. And Miss Gillette, you can appear from work by phone or laptop or some other connection. But that's where I'm going to put it. All right, you're all free to go.
All right, thank you.
All right, I'll see you on November 15th.
Thank you, sir.
Ooh, that was a rough one. Judge Middleton just trying to herd some cats. I thought that was interesting. It just has the pro se angle in a different context. This is a daughter just trying to help her mother do a termination of tenancy action to help her out, and she thinks she can do it. She thinks power of attorney implies that she can act as an attorney. But she obviously can't. They don't know what to do. It's a little complicated. An attorney can straighten this out in fairly short order, but it's not something for a lay person to attempt. Here at Law Talk, we like to have fun with silly stuff that happens in court, and every once in a while, and completely by accident, I assure you, you might learn something. Thanks for watching.